Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this amazing day. It's the International Credit Union Day, and we're here joined with our president of the TTFSCU, Mr. Marlon Charles, our vice president, Mr. Wesley Mead, our board secretary, Mrs. Sharon Nicholson Charles, our stalwart, Mr. Randolph Hudson, and our loans officer. And we're hoping to have an interactive day with your members to thank you for attending. As you know, it's our 55th year at the TTFSCU, and it is always my pleasure to be your host, and I'm Anika. So I'm going to ask Mrs. Nicholson Charles to lead us in the credit union prayer.
Thank you, Ms. Aliong. Bow our heads. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. Where there's injury, pardon. Where there's doubt, faith. Where there's despair, hope. Where there's darkness, light. And where there's sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen.
Amen. Amen. So we're just going to get straight into our celebrations. I would like to go through our agenda for today. We have, of course, the opening remarks by our board secretary. Thank you so much, Ms. Nicholson Charles. We have ICU greetings, which is, again, because it's International Credit Union Day, we have credit unions from all over the world that are sending greetings to us at the TTFSCU. So one is from Florida, where I'm stationed at the moment. One is from New Zealand, which is of course in a different time zone, and one is from the UK. So after we go through some of these greetings, I'm going to go through the treasure hunt and the trivia explanation, which is really simple, but it requires you having to have gone onto our social media feeds to read about our stalwarts and what they have brought and how they've contributed to the TTFSCU. We're going to go through a presentation by our president, Mr. Marlon Charles, which is navigating the credit union and the membership throughout the pandemic. Again, we're going to look at other greetings, and then we're going to hear from Mr. Randolph Hudson, who is our living history. So we're very excited about that. We have some new product offerings, which we're going to be, which Mr. Mar Andrews and Ms. Leah Tan Charles will share. We have some entertainment for you today. We have tips for planning your retirement by our Vice President, Mr. Wesley Mead. We have, again, more ICU greetings, and of course, the treasure hunt drawing and the winners. And we'll end with some closing comments. There's always a question and answer segment and entertainment by Mr. Ricardo Seals. So at this point in time, I would like to share with you greetings from our Florida counterparts.
Credit unions open their doors to people regardless of their race, gender, or financial situation. Every member owns a share of the credit union with an equal say in how the credit union is run. In some countries, credit unions offer the first and only opportunity for citizens to vote. Credit unions are not-for-profit organizations. Excess profits belong to and benefit the members. Credit unions are owned by their members, not by shareholders. Service to their members is a credit union's #1 priority. Credit unions are committed to providing financial education to their members and the community at large. They do all they can to ensure that our members are set up for success. Credit unions are committed to making an impact in their communities. They volunteer for local charities and participate in causes to make a difference.
So that came from credit union in Florida. And I'm not going to waste time. I know people are very excited about what's happening for the treasure hunt. We've been getting emails about people asking, okay, how do we participate in this treasure hunt? And it's really simple. What I will be doing throughout this entire program is I'll be asking questions one by one. So when I ask a question, the first person that answers the question correctly via our email, marketing@ttfscu.com, will win the prize. So we have 5 prizes that we're going to give out, and I'm going to make the announcement of the winners at the end of the nearing to the end of the celebration, as you would have seen in point number 12 on the agenda. So again, I'm going to ask 5 questions. It's based on the content that would have come from the stalwarts. So I'm hoping that everyone went on Facebook or also went on our Instagram to be able to look and read and learn and discern for you to earn, which comes back to the theme of this celebration this year. So the first question, I'm not going to waste time because I know people are excited. So the first question is, what is hawking? I'm going to repeat that. What is hawking? And of course, you email the answer to marketing@ttfscu.com. Again, the first correct answer will be deemed that winner for that day. So what is hawking? And while you're thinking it through, or perhaps running quickly to your social media to check it out because it's there, I'm going to turn you across to our president, Mr. Marlon Charles, who will give us an address about where we are at this point in time.
Well, a pleasant good afternoon to all. And let me say happy International Credit Union Day to all that are logged on, and more so happy Credit Union Month. We know that this is an annual celebration and that's what the day is all about. And in keeping with the theme that is being used for 2021, which is building financial health for a brighter tomorrow, I have been so asked to speak about navigating the credit union and the membership through the pandemic, because we know, if anybody doesn't know by now, that means they're probably still asleep. But we have been dealing with COVID-19 for just over 2 years now. But I would like to put some things into context as it relates to International Credit Union Day, because I do not know, the history of it. Just to give a little history, it is something that probably started the first time at any time that a celebration took place for credit union, its workers and members, was sometime in 1927. Actually, the 17th of January, 1927, and it was the Credit Union League of Massachusetts that would have sought to celebrate credit unionism. The only thing about it is that it didn't last for very long. It was sometime in 1948, that the Credit Union Mutual Association, and I hope I got that right, they came together and had the first celebration of International Credit Union Day, and they designated the 3rd Thursday in October to be it. And if by my little arithmetic, I think this would be our 73rd year of celebrating International Credit Union Day. And what it was so designed to do was to showcase the contribution made by credit unions in the lives of its members, along with its workers. It was a time to, if you want to say, probably sort of like showcase some of the achievement in terms of promoting the achievements of the credit union, to recognize the hard work of workers and members, because it's a voluntary, the credit union is in the main is a voluntary organization, non-profit, as was shown in one of the slides from Florida. And more so sometimes to share the experiences of, the members, whether they be good, bad, or probably even indifferent. But give or take, I would like for us to know that we are joined in this celebration by over 247 million members worldwide from 118 countries. So therefore, it may sound, if we are hearing it probably for the first time, what is this all about? This is something that is celebrated throughout the globe as we speak. And again, we are part of it and we want to come. We have been celebrating it, I guess from the time I've been in the credit union, I've always known about it. So I think we have continued. I think last year we may have had a little snag because of the whole COVID pandemic. But again, we are doing it again virtually. And this takes me into the navigating part, because it is showing that because of the pandemic, we have had to look at things differently, approach things differently, to actually still try to have the same result, which in this case is really treating with the financial well-being of our members. So in terms of navigating, you probably will be wondering, for those who may not be aware, of what the credit union may have done or is doing in order to help its members, and by extension, the society, treat with what is going on with the pandemic. I first would like to treat with the protocols, because what we have to do, or what we have been doing, has been dictated in part by the national agenda. So therefore, we have sought, at times we would have had our staff on rotation at some point in time for their safety as well as the member safety. We would have also had to ramp up our sanitizing protocols. So therefore, when you get to any one of the offices, you have to wash your hands, you have to ensure that you wear your mask, and as far as it's humanly possible, social distance. When you get into any of the offices, as soon as somebody treats with you, you have to log in to say what your temperature and stuff like that. So it allows for some form of tracking to take place. And again, when you get into the office, staff may treat with you in such a manner, it's not to get rid of you, but it's to really minimize, the threat, or to mitigate against the threat of this whole COVID-19. So therefore, from a logistics point of view in navigating, we have sought to try as best as we can at all our branches to ensure that we, as a society, join with the greater society in ensuring that we adhere to the various protocols that has so been given to us. So therefore, that's one way we have treated. It has also caused us to have to treat with, if you want to call it the new normal. For the last couple of years, this has been demonstrated in the staging of the annual general meeting. Prior to COVID, we had grown accustomed to being gathered in a venue for the proceedings. And for the last two meetings, we have had to take a virtual step. We had to take the virtual sphere, again, because of the protocols, again mitigating against the spread of COVID-19. Again, it has taught us a lot of things. And going forward, based on the restrictive protocols that we still have, going into 2022, if I'm allowed to say, we may be taking the same route, because even up to today, the maximum amount of persons that can congregate is about 10. And we know our meetings usually have more than 800 people registering with maximum attendance, sometimes above 700. So therefore, if you put that by 10, the whole of the police service would be needed to treat with us if we hosted a physical meeting. So again, the board in its wisdom will continue to take into consideration the changes that are being made by the political directory as it relates to this. So this is one of the ways that we have been navigating. And I must say that our two virtual meetings have had their fair share of success. And I guess we will see what takes place in 2022. Another thing that has been happening is the online presence. And I say online presence in terms of banking. Sometime in 2016, a decision was taken by the credit union to change out its banking platform, and we moved over to the ShareTech platform. And the reason for doing it at that time is because we were looking at having the online presence, and the last part of it would have been the banking aspect of it. Well, COVID has come, and it has forced us to fast track. And I must say, with the work that has been done by our operations department, and I would like to give some kudos to the work of the operations manager, Mrs. Julian Moore Hodges. We have had an uptick. We have had a great increase in the number of persons who have been registering to be on that platform. So we have more persons being online, more persons applying for loans online, more persons, but people are able to transfer their funds and stuff like that, simply because since 2016, something was put in place. So when COVID came, not that we were expecting it, we would have had a mechanism that could have allowed us to transition into this whole new age of digitalization and digitizing and stuff like that. So therefore, in the navigation part, we are at that stage. So we have some work to continue to do as a society in terms of upgrading and beefing up, because all being in online does have its challenges and its risks, and we are trying to manage it as best as we can. So therefore, it's something that we would, as a society, have been taking. We would have also treated with providing products and services. At the onset, we would have felt that, you know, the persons, we are public, the majority of our members, and if you want to say are public servants, if you want to say from the fire service, so we weren't affected directly in terms of salary cuts or loss of jobs and stuff like that. But about 50% of our membership are civilians. And on the basis of that, we knew that in as much as we may still get our salary, if you have two salary homes and one person got laid off or had reduction, their commitments and stuff like that would have had to be shouldered by just one salary, which probably wouldn't have been catered for. So when the government would have given the go-ahead for the initiative, you know, to provide, if you want to say, softer loans, we jumped on board because we are part of the Central Finance Facility, if you want to say, piloted that project in part with the Credit Union League of Trinidad and Tobago. And we as a board decided, well, we can create our own parallel product. And that parallel product continues to serve the membership, so much so that the credit union would have set aside a particular sum. In this case would have been $2 million was put aside for the provision of COVID-19 loans. It was given for a period of time, but we had a first wave, we had a second wave, so we continued with the product. And so much so our last decision was to have the product run until the 31st of December. So therefore, the credit union has been seeking ways in order to assist members, because one of the things that we are now, well, we are doing, if you want to say, strategic planning at this point in time, and it is one of the things that we are taking on board in preparing our plan for 2022 to 2024. So in that, we want to take into consideration, if you want to say, the after effects of COVID. How are we as a society to embrace, if you want to call it, the tragedy and make it something that is going to be of value to our members? I can say that approval has been given as of last night for a business entrepreneurship training program to assist persons in terms of getting into small businesses and stuff like that, by providing them with the training that is necessary for them to, if you want to say, for those who may have lost a job or something like that, that they can get involved in something that they like, something that can generate income and therefore contribute to their financial well-being as well. So therefore, the credit union is looking in that direction also. We are considering certain things as it relates, but some of the issues that we have challenged with is the legislation that governs us. But we are going to continue to work with the stakeholders, whether it be the Commissioner's Office, the League, whether it be CFF, the Stabilization Fund, in discussions to see how best we can make our legislation more supportive of the things that we believe that we need to do for our membership going forward. Simply because we as a society, this is what we came into existence for. The whole concept of cooperation and cooperatives is really to come together for a common good. And that is what we are here for. So in navigating going forward, one of the things that I know becomes very important to us is getting to know our members more or better, for us to become more member-centric. And I think one of the things that we will be embarking upon is becoming more data-driven so that we can have an understanding of our members, not of their present needs and wants, but even those futuristic. And therefore, we can shape our products and shape our services with them in mind, rather than we simply thinking that, okay, well, this may be something good, but we can use the data. We can create the data so that we can actually be more focused in the actual services and products that we provide to them. So I do believe sitting on the board, sitting with the group of persons that we have been working with, that we are poised to transition going forward, even with COVID, to make our society one of being a beacon, a light shedding or light bearing organization within the movement. As the board members will always say, whatever we do as a society, my thought has always been, it is not just for the fire service credit union, but it is for the movement as a whole. As I would have indicated before, 118 countries have credit unions. We are just one of them. So we are a subset of a bigger thing. And as I said, the mission of the credit union was really the well-being, the financial well-being of its members. So it will continue to be on the front burner at the Fire Service, Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service Credit Union, to continue to assist our members in the best way that we can. I would also want to say at this point in time, we may not be able to provide everything for everyone, but we are going to do our best to ensure that we give as many people and satisfy as many of our members as possible, continuing into the future. So with this, I would like to say thank you very much. Continue to see Fire First. And again, happy International Credit Union Day. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Charles. And I mean, hearing about this newly approved incentive for our members just really and truly shows how committed we are to the TTFSCU and all its members. So thank you so much for that informed discussion and what you've shared. It means a lot to all our members. We're getting greetings from a lot of members on our YouTube channel. Lots of people are saying good afternoon. And people are saying happy birthday to our board secretary. Happy birthday. We're planning to do a little something, but you know, our members beat us to it as per normal. So we already started getting questions in. So to the members, we did write as well in our YouTube feed that we're going to save all your questions for the Q&A segment. So please feel free to ask your questions. We're going to make a note of it and then we will ask it when that segment comes in. So I guess who's ready now for trivia question number 2? I am sure we all are. And the question is, what is clubbing? Again, the first correct response wins the prize. What is clubbing? Email your answer to marketing@ttfscu.com. We're also going to put this in our news feed on YouTube, so members who may have missed the question still have the opportunity to answer them. Again, the first correct answer will win the prize. So At this point in time, we would also like to share some greetings from our credit union affiliates in New Zealand. I know that they had a little song prepared, so I hope you enjoy.
Kia ora, koutou katoa. Greetings from Āwhiti Credit Union here in Aotearoa.
Today we are reminded that this is belief has freedom.
The credit union movement through the Pearl Partnership offers all of us an opportunity to do something for the well-being of our fellow men by giving our bounty in order that their lives may be better.
It is a piece of financial machinery which every day performs for you and for me and for the millions of people all around the world.
It seems it's up to you and it's up to me to carry on this tradition. Happy International Credit Union Day. Your money, your choice, your credit union.
All together we have independence. That's what our peace stands for. All together we have independence, and it means so much more. We are people of big people. Not for profit, but for you and good. All together we have independence. That's what our peace stands for. All together we have independence, and it means so much more. And that's bye from us here at the Āwhiti Credit Union.
Oh, yeah. Okay, at this point in time, we would like to invite our stalwart, Mr. Randolph Hudson, to share with us some of his thoughts on us being 55 years as TTFSCU and us in and experiencing the International Credit Union Day. Mr. Hudson, you can feel free to unmute and so we can hear you.
A blessed evening to everyone. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are. Good
Thank
evening.
you. It's a pleasure being here this afternoon. After such a long time, I'm a proud member of the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service Credit Union from the inception to this present time. I think Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service Credit Union is one of the best credit unions we have within the Trinidad Island state. I joined the credit union in the inception when money was small, but this will go a long way. I see you asked a question, Jenny, so it made me laugh. I was holding. Anyhow, what I have to say is, I've seen the credit union grow from strength to strength. I like where the credit union is right now. I hope people can understand what is really a credit union. Because in the earlies, when people used to be borrowing money from the credit union, we didn't have the finance that the credit union had now. But people feel that whenever they come to the credit union, they must get a loan. But people have to realize that you're borrowing people's money. It's not your money you're borrowing. And it must be qualified in order to get such a loan. But I'm pleased to see that the credit union are doing much more than that now. People are buying houses, people are getting properties, which in our time we couldn't have done that. All in all, I am pleased, as I have to say, I'm pleased with the credit union. I will remain a member of the credit union until I depart from this part of the world. And I will encourage the young members of Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service and their families to get involved with the credit union. Credit union does a lot for you. So for now, this is all I have to say. I'll be listening. If there are any questions you want to ask me, it's no problem, I can answer them.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Hudson. What we will do is we will reserve all these questions for our Q&A segment. We are very honored to have you here, and we thank you so much for taking the time and also for sharing your story with us. And yes, so you see that we did take some of what you said as you laughed because we used it in our trivia.
I also laugh. One of the questions, I cannot even participate and say I can answer the question.
No panel members.
No, it will be unfair. You know. So I speak for the members, and I hope they all take part in it, and I wish whoever win the best.
So do we.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So that actually takes us, it is a lovely segue into the next question. So our next trivia question is, how old is the first secretary of the board of directors now? How old is the first secretary of the board of directors now? Again, the first person that answers correctly wins the prize. Please email your answers to marketing@ttfscu.com. And at this point in time, we're going to ask Ms. Tamar Andrews to share with us some new product offerings and possible events from the Products and Events Committee. Ms. Andrews, you may feel free to unmute and share with us.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Tamar Andrews, and I'm one of the loans officers at Fire Service Credit Union. For Credit Union Month, we are having a special share loan. This share loan is a loan that is within your shareholdings. It is a reduced interest rate, even lower than the current share loans. And this promotion ends on the 29th of October. We also have a wealth creation loan. This wealth creation loan is 3 times your unencumbered shares. You can apply for up to 3 times your unencumbered shares. This is given at a great rate at a share loan interest rate. And it is for members to be able to come in and apply and be able to get find out in terms of the amount they may be able to qualify for and that kind of thing. Right now as well, we are in the season, Christmas season. So Christmas loans will be soon upon us. This special will start the 1st of November and it will run until the last day in December. The disbursements for the Christmas loan, so you can apply from the 1st and the disbursement should start around the 16th of November. So those are some of the, other than our regular loans, those are some of the specials that we have running up until the end of the year.
That is wonderful. So again, in every way, all day, every day, the TTFSCU is committed to each and every member. We are very grateful to have you all here with us today on ICU Day. As we say, CUD CUD, Credit Union Day. Ms. Andrews, thank you so much for sharing what you've shared with our membership and all of us. I know that from today, we're going to have some calls and questions about it. So we are very grateful for you. Okay, so I wonder if it's that time for another trivia question. Wonder, should we? Yes, we should. So this is our next question. This is question 4 of 5 questions. Trivia question number 4. Can you name at least 4 of the founding members that formed the first official board of directors of the TTFSCU? Again, can you name at least 4 of the founding members that formed the first official board of directors at the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service Credit Union? First answer correct, that's emailed to marketing@ttfscu, wins that prize. So at this point in time, we have some entertainment, some more entertainment. I mean, you heard New Zealanders. I think that's what you call them. Yes, they sang for us, but we're going to have Mr. Ricardo Seals perform for us. So I do hope, and I'm sure he does as well, that you enjoy his performance. Wow, I felt that in my soul. I don't know about you guys, but I was rocking to the beat, burning some calories, enjoying it. So, Mr. Seals, wow, okay, I'm looking forward to that second performance now. So, Mr. Mead, our Vice President, I know you have some words of encouragement and planning and great advice that we can't all wait to hear. So I'll invite you now to share with us tips for planning your retirement.
Thank you very much. Lovely to see you this afternoon with that infectious smile. A pleasant good afternoon to our credit union family, and a wonderful, happy International Credit Union Day to everyone. So it's really a fantastic time for the credit union movement, celebrating this International Credit Union Day, as said and given a little historical perspective by our president, Mr. Charles. I'm here today to speak about a very important topic, and that is planning for retirement. Many of us, and I'm saying us because I'm also recently retired, look forward to the day when we don't have to hustle out to work, to earn money, to pay bills, to a time where we can finally accomplish some of the things that we weren't able to because of that hectic work schedule, and we're busy balancing this work-life schedule. Some of us, on the other hand, experience high anxiety and worry because we really haven't planned for retirement. We haven't planned for the expected financial and other life changes that comes with retirement. So to start off, I would just like for those of us who are here to do a current state assessment. And it has to do with 5 elements that you rate from high to low, 1 being low and high being 5. And there are 6 elements that I'd like us to rate. And you could rate it for yourself and internalize, and I'll give you the metric to the score to kind of assess where we are. So the first element is attitude. And attitude means where you have a positive outlook, where your future is concerned. Are you mentally prepared for this transition? So what's your attitude about retirement? Are you looking forward to it? Are you expecting it some level of apprehension? The other element, so you rate that from 1 to 5. The higher it is the more positive that you have in terms of your outlook for retirement. Life plan, where some of us have a vision for our lives after retirement. If you have a plan that is written down, right? If you refer to that plan regularly and update it as time passes by. So what plans we have for our life after retirement? So again, you rate that from 1 to 5. Savings. Do you contribute, or have you contributed regularly to your retirement savings? Have you invested wisely based on you knowing that retirement is coming up? Have you prepared for it via savings? On the other side, debt. Have you been paying down on your debt? Have you been paying off your credit cards to avoid any drains on your future income, which will be fixed and reduced? Passions. Identify something that gives you a sense of purpose. Be ready to take on new challenges. Age is just a number. You're never too old to pick up a new hobby, to learn a new instrument, or to learn an instrument if you've never played one before. So indulge yourself in a passion that you've had to occupy that time that you now have. Well-being. Practice good daily habits to ensure good health and energy. Indulge in activities that nourish your mind and body, and bring some fun and excitement into your life. A lot of us say, well, we want to reach a ripe old age of 70 and 80. But reaching that age is one thing, but being healthy within that period is something else. So in these 6 elements, quickly, if you have scored 24 and over, you are ready for retirement. If your score is between 18 and 23, there are some aspects in your state of readiness that you need to work on. And it'd be good for you to start working on these areas if you're not already a retired person. If you've scored below 17, however, you need some further introspection. You need to figure out and come to terms with some of these issues in your life, and you need to start to discuss some of these elements with your family, with your spouse, with your financial advisors coming to your credit union, especially when it comes to the financial part of it. So the credit union will be able to assist in getting you where you need to be. Some of the things that to expect when you retire. And some of these things I don't think some of us may or may not have actually thought about it. For one, you'll be living on a fixed income. So unless you plan to run your business or work well past 60 or to supplement your NIS and pension, you have to transition to a significantly lower income. For those of us in the fire service, I mean, we have something now in place where upon your retirement, you're given $3,500 until they organize exactly what your package is supposed to be. And sometimes that takes months for you to be regularized into your pension. So you have to consider that in terms of living at a significantly lower fixed income, right? The income that you have should at least cover the following: a roof over your head. So, but you'd want to have in place before that time is a fully paid for home. So you don't have to worry about rent and using some of your savings and all of that for stuff and things like home improvement, all of that comes into maintenance of a home. Healthcare. This is a significant cost that we incur as we get older, the increasing cost of healthcare. So notwithstanding, we have free access to healthcare at health centers and hospitals, but the specialist medical healthcare becomes an issue. And the older you get, the more things that would have never shown up in your youth tend to show up as we get older. Cash for daily expenses. So we need to consider a steady stream of income required to finance your stuff like your food, your utilities, your transport, and other day-to-day necessities. Is it that this lower fixed income that you are receiving now could satisfy those daily requirements? So those are things that you need to consider. Lifestyle changes. Will you have a modest retirement lifestyle? Is it that you're comfortable with your basic needs being satisfied? Or is it that you want to enjoy a range of recreational and leisure activities? So you need to decide. If it is I want to go on a cruise or to travel, then you need to put aside money for that as a plan. Third, emotional roller coaster. Retirement is a huge adjustment for some of us. It moves us away from a very hectic work schedule, which would have formed part of your identity as a human being. And now you have a lot of free time and less commitments that you would have had before. And this could cause some sort of emotional imbalance with some persons. Some people experience loneliness, boredom, anxiety, a feeling of uselessness and disillusionment. And so these are some of the emotional things that we need to consider during retirement. Aging. We also have to accept that there are going to be changes in your mind and body. Your reflexes slow. You may experience memory lapse. you may become susceptible to age-related diseases such as arthritis, hypertension, Alzheimer's, and a whole plethora of other health issues as you go along in life. Relationships are key, however. Excuse. It is important that you maintain close relationships with your former co-workers post-retirement. Connections with your spouse, friends, and family become even more important because this is your social network, your social net that is going to assist you in your retirement. I'd like to wrap up now with some retirement saving tips. Fund your dream with a retirement plan, a savings plan. You need to start now rather than later. A lot of people wait until they're in their 30s and 40s to start to save towards retirement. You start to save towards retirement from the first day of your employment. And I need to repeat that. You need to start from your first day of employment to save for your retirement. Because just as sure as we have today, we are going to have tomorrow. And one of your tomorrows is your date of retirement. So we need to start now. Use automatic transfers, as the president would have said, that the credit union is providing an electronic platform for you to conduct your business. COVID has necessitated it in some cases, but it's a cheaper, more effective way of doing business. Have savings become your new normal. As I said, when you start as your employment, you need to start saving. So let that become your new normal. Put away that savings money first and everything else after. It's good to join associations like Tobago Association for Retired Persons, where it is that you get you're eligible for membership at 50, I believe, and there are certain benefits in terms of pharmacies, travel agencies, furniture outlets, and a lot like that. Do not dip into your retirement savings. From a credit union perspective, many members, because of situations, because of life, tend to dip into their savings, upon retirement. Plan way in advance so you don't have to. Probably give yourself that cover of between 6 months to a year, where that you're comfortable until you receive what you're supposed to receive from your place of work. Pay down on your debts and spend less. And I understand that we haven't had any increases for many years, but in terms of saving and preparing for retirement, it's a sacrifice that you have to make. When it comes to investment, be realistic about projected investment returns. So outside of your savings, look at the investment that we have out in the market, right? There would have been several offerings, whether you had the FCB offerings and stuff. So investing in those sort of securities are a good way of supplementing your income and having equity on hand. So thank you for allowing me this couple of minutes to chat with you. And again, have a wonderful International Credit Union Day.
Thank you so much, Vice President Mead. Words of wisdom and advice. Wish I was a few years younger to really take it. I'm a little late, but I guess you're never too late to make a change. And I think that's the most important thing. And a message like that kind of resonates to all ages that are listening at this point in time. So it really makes you take stock of where you are, where you're going to be, and what you expect when you do retire. So we really appreciate it. And members, again, thank you all for joining. Thank you for your wonderful comments. Good afternoon to all of you. And we're so happy that you could join us again on this International Credit Union Day. So at this point in time, I'm going to give my final trivia question. And of course, I've been looking at the responses. There have been overwhelming responses to all the questions. Some people are getting it just within, as it's called, they're sending emails. So we want to thank you, and they're correct emails as well. So we want to thank you for reading, for learning, for discerning, so you can now earn your prize. So I'm going to give you the last question of today. And trivia question number 5. Who was credited as the first chief fire officer to promote female fire officers? Again, who was credited as the first chief fire officer to promote female fire officers? Please, as you know, and I'm going to repeat it, email your answers to marketing@ttfscu. Again, we repeat the questions in the chat, so you can always go back there and answer. And we wish all our members for participating the best of luck. Soon I'll be able to give you all the winners by questions. And at this point in time, we have some greetings from our friends at Wellington in the United Kingdom. They handle software for credit unions, and they wanted to share this with you.
Happy International Credit Union Day.
Happy International Credit Union Day.
Happy International Credit Union Day. Happy International Credit Union Day.
Happy International Credit Union Day.
Happy International Credit Union Day.
Happy International Credit Union Day.
Don't you just feel the camaraderie among all our affiliates in the world? I think that's just so incredible that we, as members, know there's not just a credit union that exists, or credit unions that exist in Trinidad and Tobago, but it's a global force to be reckoned with. And I think that's something that is a key takeaway from today. So at this point in time, we would like to open the floor to our members to ask our panel of esteemed guests here, which includes our president, our vice president, and our board secretary. Any questions you may have. I'm going to start with one that was asked some time before, and I give the members an opportunity to send in your requests so we can ask those questions. So the first question, and I'm going to read it as is. Good afternoon. Can we have something in place for family members who are pensioners or collecting disability checks? So I open the floor up to any of the panel.
Thank you so much for your question. Recently, we have been in talks with the Commissioner for Cooperative and a joint tripartite group with the Credit Union League involved in terms of doing 2 things specifically. One is being able to encash government and pension checks, and the other will be to have personnel or members of the credit union assign their salaries to the credit union. So those are 2 things that we are looking and working assiduously on. We'll give you details as soon as we get them, but those are 2 things that members can look forward to: the encashment of government checks, which would include income tax and those things, as well as the assignment of your salary directly to the credit union. So the bank doesn't have that first dibs on anything that you have. So those are things that are in the work, and thank you so much for your question.
Thank you so much, Board Secretary and Birthday.
Can I just chime in a bit here as well?
Yes.
I would want to probably point out that based on what the Secretary would have indicated, it is part of a, if you want to say, a larger conversation that is taking place in terms of credit unions becoming part of the payment system in Trinidad and Tobago. And again, there's another committee that is in place that is actually treating with that. So what she would have spoken to would have been some of, if you want to call it, some of the low-hanging fruits that they see could be done almost immediately once they get the buy-in and the approval and the changes in the legislation. But it really is speaking to the larger picture of being part, the credit union being part of the, if you want to say, the payment system. A little snag on that is the credit union in its first iteration in terms of probably even the central finance facility, and even when we had the cooperative bank, which really to get back to that place where the finances of the credit union could go into an institution that is owned and run by the credit union. So this in itself, it has far-reaching ramifications as it relates to the legislation that governs the financial services sector. So it is a discussion that is currently being undertaken in the movement and by example, because it is being overseen by Mr. Cummings, Foster Cummings, our minister, in conjunction with Central Bank and the Ministry of Finance. So these are things that are being actually worked on as we speak.
Thank you so much, President Charles. I have a next question, but I will be able to answer this question. The question is, how will we know who got the answer first, referring to the trivia questions? So I'm just going to share with our membership for complete transparency. I'm actually in the email as we speak, and I'm literally looking at the first questions that come in, and I look at the timestamp, and once the question is answered correctly, I have marked the name down. So that's how it goes. Of course, I'm not privy to share the screen with TTFSCU, marketing at TTFSCU, because that email comes in for all other assignments. But that is what is going to happen, and that's what's been happening. So as we're speaking, I'm actually in marketing at TTFSCU looking through the answers. Not all answers are correct, but what I will do as well is when we're getting to the question, to the treasure hunt drawing, I will share what the correct answers are so everyone's aware of it, so you know. And I have another question from a member who would like to get an update on the debit cards, please.
Is Tamar in? Tamar?
Tamar, you can feel free to unmute, please. Maybe perhaps she's away from her desk right now.
My last visit to the credit union, well, before today, I would have seen they received a number of replacement cards. We're moving away from the simple debit card to the chip and PIN and Wi-Fi card that members could use to transact business, withdraw money, and shop online. So those are ongoing. For those members who have not yet applied, the forms are online, and the requirements are 2 forms of ID, proof of address, and updated payslip. For those of you employed, I know we are working on something to afford our junior members that, well, not junior members, but those members between over the age of 14 access to the card so that they could use it as a bank card rather than take out an account at the bank. So we are working on JMMB, and we are looking at improving the service by seeking out other providers as well as persons who could compete in the market to provide the best service for our members.
Okay, thank you so much.
Can I add a little as well? At present, there is a project on the, well, part of Project 2020, which is with the Central Finance Facility, of which we, as Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service Credit Union, are a unit member. I currently serve on that board as the secretary to the board. One of the things that came out of COVID-19, when the government was looking at the roadmap to recovery, the CFF because of the, if you want to say the mandate of CFF, we looked into finding a way as to how we as the CFF could contribute. And one of the areas would have been technology. And right now there's a team in place that is looking at technology in terms of just what is, in terms of providing for the credit union movement per se. We do have a link queue, yes, but it just serves part of the community. But we are looking at trying to find a solution for even the smaller credit unions who may not be able to go in on their own. So it's more cooperation among cooperatives to allow for that kind of platform to come into being. And to the member who may have asked the question as it relates to the CUD, I would want to have on record that the issues that we have been having with the CUD did not or are not originating from the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service Credit Union. It's actually originating from the GMMBN because they are the ones who were going through the transition in terms of changing the CUD, and as a result, that actually took priority, and it was not just the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service that was affected. A lot of the other credit unions who have GMMB cards were so likewise affected. And again, it also brought up the whole notion that probably be the movement, and I hear what I say, the movement, not the fire service, but the movement probably needs to get its own card so that we would not have to depend on someone else and whatever goes on with them, and it affects everybody. So I just wanted to add that in as well.
Thank you. Okay, I have another comment. And the comment reads as such: I like the $500,000 initiative, but can we have a loan that has the same particulars, but instead of unencumbered shares, it is used to boost shares and stands on its outside of, and stands outside, sorry, of the general and share loan. It's a comment.
Well, it is, well, what we can do, we can actually pass the comment on to the Product and Services Committee so that they can, and even the member who may have sent it in, they can probably, if you want to say, give some more, if you want to, definition to what they're looking at, what they would like in the product that they have so mentioned. So we can actually have something more to work with. The committee will have more to work with, so that we can probably see how feasible it can be for the membership.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, President Charles. Another member's asking if you're taking new applications for debit cards.
Well, I guess the secretary would have indicated that it's online, so definitely yes. So therefore, they, instead of the, I do not know, probably the signing of the form, if there is to be signed as the part that is probably just a drop in, but if they do it online, it has to be printed for them to sign. So I guess, yes, they can go through with the signing of it until the legislation is changed for e-signature. We would probably, they may have to visit the branch in order to get it signed, to have it signed, I should say. But yes, we would accept and process accordingly.
Okay, are there any other questions, members? Now is your time to ask. We're taking questions. We have the president, the vice president, and the board secretary here on our esteemed panel. We also have Mr. Hudson here, a stalwart of the TTFSCU. If you have any questions that you wish to ask about the past, about his contribution, of course, no trivia questions, but other than that, you can feel free to please ask it. Now is your time, today is your day. So we're asking any questions you have for us at this point in time. I'm wondering if at this point we should have some entertainment and then we circle back with any final questions. Panel, what do you think?
Hey, Nika, could I share birthday greetings for a young lady who sent her information?
Is that you?
Yesterday? No. I'm not so young. I'm sending out six birthday greetings to Miss Nia Onaya Pereira her mommy asked that we extend birthday greetings to her. I know there's a beautiful little angel in Tobago. She's 3 years old today. She's the daughter of Miss Sharissa John. She is also celebrating her birthday today. So happy birthday to you, lovely ladies. May God bless you richly, and may him always cover you and protect you.
And we should be singing happy birthday to you. I mean, I don't have the voice for it, but I could try, but then I don't want it to rain. I don't know. It's a whole process going on in my head. But again, happy birthday. I'm not going to even attempt to sing because I don't have any tune. And I hope you do enjoy your birthday on such an auspicious day. It just ties wonderfully in with the personality that is our board secretary. So happy birthday again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I imagine I have people all around the world celebrating my birthday today. So it's an honor. Thank you.
So I know that before, this is by email, a member had asked when the Arima branch is going to open. Can anyone share any insights on that?
I will take that one.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No. Actually, it came up, and we had board meeting last evening. In fact, it finished after 11. Yeah, wow. Yes, and that was probably the penultimate point in the discussion. We have not determined the date for the opening as yet. The board hasn't determined the date, but we are putting things in place for by the second week in November. By that time, we will be able to see when it is going to be open. And if I can say off the top of my head, it will be open before the end of the year, based on where we are at in terms of infrastructure and stuff like that. The building in itself is completed, just the snag list. We are working on the snag list. There are some internal things that the architect and the building committee, they are trying to sort out. Once that is sorted out, then we can probably give a definitive date. So for now, what I can say, by the second week in November, we should have a lot of the things put in place, and it's from there on, we will be able to give a definitive date. So it is coming. There's no way of turning back. It is coming. So just bear with us, have a little patience, so that you can go to your spanking new, can I use the term, edifice? You know, in Arima. But it's coming soon. Have no fear.
Thank you so much, President Charles. Okay, so now we're at the point in the show, or the celebration, I should say, where I, since I know no further questions, I'm not seeing any further questions coming in from our members, I would like to move on to the treasure hunt drawing and the winners being announced. Now, what I'll be doing is I'll be looking at your email handles, but we want to be able to answer these questions that we had asked. So I'm going to actually put back up the questions for everyone to see, and that way we can answer the questions as it happens. I want to congratulate all those people that were able to successfully answer the questions. Okay, I do have a question here, but just before I get into the winners here, so I'm going to ask it quickly. Good day. Are there plans to provide a means to transfer funds directly from a member's personal bank account to the member's credit union account?
I know we would have had some discussions about that already. The mechanics of that has not been worked out as yet, but it is something that we are trying to wrap our heads around as it relates to the ramifications of doing something like that. And I want to say the ramification has to do with the financial intelligence unit in terms of money laundering and stuff like that. So it is not as simple in terms from a legislation perspective, from a security perspective. So that is why we are, if you want to say, treading softly, seeking out the best way to navigate around treating with that particular issue. But it is something that has engaged the attention of the board, even and this more so with COVID. COVID sort of brought all those things into the front burner in terms of trying to assist the member in terms of not having to make personal visits and stuff like that to the credit union. Not that we don't want people to come to the credit union, but in terms of the mitigating strategies. But again, it is not something that is as simple as it sounds. It has more far-reaching circumstances and consequences for treating with it. Because it means, therefore, that our risk appetite, the risk that are involved now increases. And on the basis of that, we now have to, if you want to say, weigh the risk against the benefit to the society. So it is something that is engaging the attention of the board along with the leadership team of the credit union.
Thank you. Another member is asking, how much share capital should a member hold for a loan of $1 million?
I may be able to take this. It would depend on the type of loan itself. So let's say, for instance, it is a general loan. You will need at least 50% of what you're asking for because it's a 2-to-1. We have our construction loans, which are title and no title. They hold collateral from between 10% to 33 and a third percent. If it is a mortgage, we do 95% financing. All of these there are different types of collateral that we will need for about $1 million, but it would depend. A vehicle, I know vehicles would not run for $1 million, but if you're looking at a vehicle, our vehicle loans run collateral anywhere between 5% to 33 and a third. So it really depends on the type of loan that you are looking for us to now look at the collateral you need for that said amount.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, I have a comment from another member, and it reads as such. As an auxiliary with a full-time job, I've always been interested in the credit union, but have never gotten an opportunity to find out any information. I would like to thank you. Okay, well, the information I can answer this is also, it's on your website, ttfscu.com, and of course, in any of our 3 branches, you can walk in and get any bit of information that you'd like on the credit union. So I hope I've answered that question, panel.
Ms. Aliong, as she's saying thank you, I was wondering if she was on the panel on Tuesday night when the education committee would have been on the auxiliary fire officers platform, sharing information on membership with the credit union, the benefits of joining the credit union, and all that it has to offer. So I'm wondering if that's what she's saying thank you for.
Oh, okay, okay. All right.
I have one request for Mr. Randolph Hudson. I was just asking if he could put on his camera for just about all of 30 seconds that members on the platform could see who is one of our living legends. Mr. Hudson? Hello.
Mr. Hudson, we would love to see you.
Yes, I'm coming on. I'm gonna come on.
Yes, grace us with that smile of yours.
Are you seeing me there?
No, not as yet.
Why the camera is not coming on? Are you able to access your camera?
Oh no.
All Zoom's access it. I'm unable to access this camera. I don't know for what reason.
Oh.
But, okay. I'll try here now.
Okay.
Just 1 second.
All right.
Oh boy. Everything else is working except in the camera, boy. Oh, you know what happened? I'm I'm touching the camera to come on. It's not accepting it. I'm gonna try this fancy. Maybe I'm not as be seen.
Oh, it would have been so lovely to see you because you have such a nice smile.
Yeah, I know. I wish it could have happened.
Oh.
I guess you'll have to tune into the social media platform and the website to get a glimpse of what Mr. Hudson looks like.
Oh,
all of 70.
Everyone is.
all of 78 years old, and he looks very good for his age.
Very proud to be 78.
And I really want to thank Mr. Hudson for the time he took in sitting with me to relay or to reminisce of the good old days.
My cameras don't want to switch. All the time you hear, all Zoom to access your camera from the device menu setting. Okay, let me go to the device menu. Let me go to settings.
You realize he's very savvy with the technology, yeah?
Yeah.
You have to keep, at least you have to keep up to date, you know? It can't just be.
Okay. And you know, as well, the members don't know about this, but we actually had the opportunity to do some video recording of these stalwarts, and we're going to be airing those videos before the end of this month. So they'll be on the social feeds and on the website, so you can see the living legends in action. And I think that would be awesome as well, because we're 55 years old. We don't look it, but we are.
No. If
we're only going from strength to strength. So it's important for us to have our history captured. I have to thank the board secretary for making herself available to have these interviews with all these stalwarts. We have Mr. Mervyn King that we're going to be sharing a little later today, so you can learn about his journey as well. And he's actually the oldest member. He's 90 years old. But we had to go for the second oldest member for this trivia because we didn't post that as yet. So I just wanted to share that as well with the members, that imagine being 90 and, you know, all your faculties in order and being able to share your history of, you know, from having the credit union under the steps that everybody's heard about, but to actually hear that move from under the steps into all the branches that we are now, and we soon will be opening. It is an incredible accomplishment to see what the TTFSCU has done, and it's always for the members, by the members. And I think that's also something that's really resonating, especially on a day like today, which is our International Credit Union Day. So I would like, since we have no other questions, a lot of thank yous from our members.
I'm seeing Mara, I'm seeing you, and I can't see myself.
Well, I know that the entire world will be able to see you when we do post the videos.
The video, yeah.
So they'll be able to see
pleasure.
You know, your spunk and your personality really come through. And I mean, it's really endearing to, I've seen the first unedited videos, and I'm just like, wow, this is almost like, you know, watching history, as we say, living history. So we're very grateful for you taking the time, and we're very grateful for you being here.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
And we're so, you know, words are escaping me. That's to tell you how much gratitude I feel, and I know the rest of the membership feels, having you here on our panel this afternoon. So,
it's a pleasure.
There's a recommendation from a member that we should offer basic technology courses to the membership. So I just wanted to share that, right? To teach them how to use smartphones, computers, etc., so they can have more access to online services. Okay, great. So I guess we're ready now to be able to answer those questions and for me to share who the winners are for the trivia. Okay, I'm going to ask board secretary, I'm giving you work to do on your birthday, yes, to be able to share with us some of the prizes that our members will receive.
Yeah, the physical prizes so they don't feel that it's empty boxes that we're giving them. Just give me a second.
So you want to share with it would be great, yes, for you to share with the members. We missed a bit of what you were saying at the beginning. Sorry about that.
I was just saying that let her get the prizes so people wouldn't think that it's empty boxes.
Oh, I understand. Sorry, I just got part of that. Okay, so while our birthday secretary is running off to get the prizes to show you that they are physical prizes, I want to be able to share with you the answers to some of the questions that you would have asked. So, and the winners per question. So we had some really close calls. There were members that immediately answered the question. So I literally had to go in terms of the first email that came in, the first correct email. But the question is, what is hawking? That's the first trivia question. And the answer to that, hawking is taking items from the canteen on credit and when they're reselling, and they're reselling for cash. So most members got that correct, which means that you did learn, you did read, and you did go on the social media feeds. But the one person that's taking away the prize for that would be Mallory Senon. So we're going to actually email you, and congratulations to that first prize winner. I see you're back, birthday secretary.
We have sandwich makers, and the box is very heavy, it's not empty. We have 2 sandwich makers as prizes today for correctly answered questions. We also have Easy Go blenders. We have 2 of those. Oh, and the grand prize winner will receive upside down a portable charcoal grill. All right.
So I'm going to leave I'm going to leave the distribution of the prizes up to you, Madam Secretary. Okay, I'm just going to call out the 5 winners according to for, again, complete transparency, just to share with you the first correct answer that came into the inbox is who we chose as the winner, right? So and I did answer the question in terms of what is hawking. So I'm going to ask the other question for number 2, what is clubbing? And clubbing is a process of having meetings every Tuesday and Thursday where invited person, would be encouraged to join the credit union. So that answer went to the first correct response went to Miss Cindy Ann Boudou. So congratulations. You're a winner of one of the prizes that we just shared. So congratulations, and then we will also be sending you emails as well. So the third question, what is hawking? What is clubbing? How old is the first secretary of the board of directors now? Trivia question number 3. So we did get a response, and the correct answer for that one would have come in from an email address that says so craftly. So remember, you know who you are. I'm going to just respond to you on that email address saying that you've won that prize. And of course, all these answers are available on social media. So again, you can always go back to the 3 stories that we would have posted, which gives all of this information. Trivia question number 4, can you name at least 4 of the founding members that formed the first official board of directors? Many correct answers again, but the first answer that came in, we had to go with, and that came from Ajuda Jew. Again, we're going to respond via email on that. And the fifth trivia question, who was credited as the first chief fire officer to promote female fire officers? So that answer I'm going to pull up right now in terms of the first correct response. And that goes to, are you ready? Drum roll. Remember, that's called Kayla. Congratulations. So we would have had all 5 prizes awarded. And again, I will personally send the emails as soon as we're done with our credit union celebrations out to you, and we'll leave it up to the birthday board secretary to distribute the prizes accordingly. So I'm not getting involved, just saying. I'm just calling the first correct answer.
When you get the names, just ask them where they would like to have the prize left at, which office, and we would have it packaged for them, and they could collect as soon as early as Monday, please.
Thank you so much, Board Secretary. So I'm going to invite any closing comments at this point in time to any member of the panel.
Well, I guess it's me. I see the board sec keeping her eyes off the screen. But I would probably want to give Mr. Hudson the opportunity to give some closing comments before I do, if that's all right.
That would be wonderful, Mr. Hudson.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure again. I want to say I'm very proud of my credit union. I'm very proud of these members who are at the head table at this point in time. I wish you all the best, all the success to take our credit union forward. Congratulations to all the winners of the prizes. And may our credit union go from strength to strength. I say this in the name of Jesus. Thank you so much.
Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Hudson. So therefore, he has made it so much easier for me now. So firstly, I would want to thank our moderator, Mrs. Alya.
Thank you.
For taking us through the afternoon's proceedings, professionally done. On top of the game, thank you so very much. I would want to thank Mr. Hudson for being part, even though we did not get the opportunity, and when I say we, the wider membership, to see who you are, because I think early on when you started to talk, I asked, can we not see him? Meaning, I think I know who you are, but I think the general membership would have really relished the idea of seeing this person who was there in 1965, along with some other visionaries, to have conceptualized and birthed the Fire Service Credit Union into what it has grown to be today. Because without them then, we may not have had a now. And for this, I want to say thank you, and to all the other pioneers, whether they are in a good place with their Lord and their Savior, or whether they are still here with us. We want to say thank you for what you did. Thank you for planting the seed, and we will continue to water. And whoever comes behind us, we trust that we leave a part that they will be willing and able to continue to water and nurture so that it can continue to go from strength to strength. I also want to thank Ms. Andrews for her contribution as it relates to the various products that are now on board, and even given the information. So in ask of the individual as it relates to the $1 million and it's collateralizing and stuff like that. So thank you very much for being part of it. I would also want to thank Mr. Wesley Mead, the Vice President, for the information, quite a bit of information. So I do hope there's an opportunity for persons somewhere to access it again. So because it was quite a bit, so that they can go back and recap and stuff like that and probably learn even more. Because sometimes they say if it's nice, do it twice. So when you reread something, you will get something that you probably missed. So I would hope that there's an avenue by which this can be packaged so that persons can have access to it. For all the persons who work alongside the board sec, to have what we have, the events committee, I wanted to say thank you to them, the members of the committee, for having this project materialize, operationalize. I want to say thank you all for the work that you all would have done. And it is all in good stead for the continued upliftment of the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service. As I said, we acknowledge the accomplishments that we continue to make as we continue to serve voluntarily. So I want to say thanks to the board, the supervisory committee, the credit committee. I want to say thank you to the management team, the leadership team, the staff at our various branches. I want to say special thanks to our membership. Because without our members, we are nothing. It may not at times appear that we are doing things that may be for the benefit of the members, but I want to assure those that are viewing, those who will view, generally speaking, when we sit as a board, the decisions that we made or we deliberate on is really to see how best we, as the board, can meet the needs. Give or take, we may not know all the needs, and that is why, as I said earlier on, we are going to treat with data collection. We are going to take a particular road to be data-driven. So therefore, it would mean your participation and your contributions. You would have to talk to us so that we can know what it is we can do for you, like the contribution that the person, the recommendation that the individual made a short while ago as it relates to the transfers from bank, credit union, those kind of things. Once we know that these are the things that you all would like, we can look into it to see the feasibility of it. And even if it may not be feasible for today, it is not that it's something that we're just going to throw aside. We are going to prioritize based on our strategic directions going forward. So therefore, we are asking you all to continue to partner with us as the credit union, your credit union, because as I like to say, we may say member, I like to put owner as well, because some people forget, or probably not, they're not very aware of the fact that being a member makes you part owner of the institution. The board does not own the institution. When I say own it, we are part owners as well. So therefore, I want all members to be aware that you are not just a member. We want to become more member-centric, yes, but you are the owner of the institution. If you purchase one share, you are as much an owner as a person who may have $1 million in share. You are an owner. And that is what this was created for. We don't have shareholders. We have owners, and that's what you are. And for this, we want to say to continue to support your institution, continue to support your organization. Don't be afraid, and I know there are many who are not afraid, to tell us when we are not going the way that you think that we should go. Continue to keep us in check. Continue to liaise with us. Continue to dialogue with us. We now have social media platforms by which we can communicate even more effectively than before. So do that. Exercise your democracy. Exercise the power that has been given to you by becoming a member of the organization. So as I end, I would like to again go back to, I love to say, see fire first. Because that's what we were created for. We want to be the premier financial institution, but it's not, that is what we aspire towards. We can only be this because of you. And it's because of you we want to be this. So therefore, I want to say continue to celebrate the achievements and accomplishments of your society and by extension, the credit union movement worldwide. And I would ask that you continue to enjoy your International Credit Union Day. Thank you. May God continue to bless you all. And as I said, see fire first. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, President. And again, we're at the end of our celebration today. I'm just responding to one member that asked, why can't you reveal what prizes each winner received? We will reveal what prizes each winner received. We've always been transparent. We need to find out the names of the winners and not just the handles on email first. When we do that, then we're going to publish it on social media feeds. So yes, everyone will see what everyone else won. For those of you that have won. And again, we want to wish all of you International Credit Union Day. Thank you so much to our esteemed panel, President Marlon Charles, Vice President Wesley Mead, Board Secretary Sharon Nicholson Charles, and of course our stalwart, Mr. Randolph Hudson, and our wonderful, well-informed loans officer, Ms. Tamara Andrews. Thank you so much. Again, I'm Anika. I'm always here for you. I remain committed to the TTFSCU, and we're going to end with some music by the wonderful Mr. Seals. So if you see me nodding and dancing, please feel free to join in and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.